Here we are in glorious, windy Istanbul, Turkey. That river you can see behind me is the Bosphorus, and it divides not only Istanbul, but also the continents of Europe and Asia. My guest this week is a remote worker who lives right here in Istanbul, and we're about to get up close and personal with the Bosphorus. This is Out of Office, episode 43. That's pretty good coffee.
Yeah, it is very good coffee.
Which side is which, by the way? I know the Bosphorus divides Europe and Asia, and I genuinely don't know which one's
So this right side, your left is Europe side, and your right is the Asian side.
Which side do you live on?
I live in Europe side.
On the Europe side.
Turkey is great place, but our economy is getting worse day by day.
The economy's been through a lot of turmoil in the past couple of years, right?
And especially for the last 2 years, it went crazy. I mean, my wife and I definitely can't understand what is happening.
Yeah.
The food, everything went very high.
How much did that affect you and your family?
Not that much. We are lucky because we are getting paid in US dollars. It is kind of insurance for us. We are getting in the same amount in a global currency, so we can plan about our future.
What's the difference in opportunity like between the jobs that are available locally and global remote jobs?
Wage, like 3 times, I suppose.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty extraordinary. So you're saying that someone who's working as a software engineer or a job that can be done remotely here in Turkey would be earning double or triple if they actually found a remote job?
Yes, remotely, if they work for other countries, especially for US, they can make more, 2 times.
I mean, is that connected to why you got into software engineering?
Software engineering is like my reason of my life. I mean,
wow, that's a big statement.
Really, it is like eating and it is like having sex. I mean, I enjoy it as much as the other stuff when I'm coding.
Wow.
Really.
What do you love about coding?
I'm creating things from nothing. I think about it, I design it, I code it, and I make it. I create it. So it feels amazing.
You almost sound like an inventor. Or an artist, I guess both.
Yeah, I guess so, because I'm a perfectionist. I say it myself, this is my goal, I have to reach that. But when I reach that goal, I can't stop in that. My mind is busy with the higher goals. And it is
continuous improvement, right?
And so I'm addicted to success, I can say this.
I like that phrase, you're addicted to success.
Yeah.
So tell me, what's your history with remote work?
Well, in 2007 I started to work, but in 2013 I decided to build my own startup, build my own company. After that, there was a task and everyone was bidding like $100 or $50 or something. I was bidding 1,000, and I chose that way because I want them to talk with me.
I've seen this strategy in the Egyptian market here in Istanbul.
They was getting surprised. They were asking me, "Hey, what the hell? Why are you kidding me?" I said, "Just that. I am experienced. People will do your job in 4 weeks, 5 weeks. I will do your job within 2 days, 3 days. If your time is important than your money, then choose me. Otherwise, choose that." I started to make a lot of money.
So, I mean, from a marketing standpoint, what you're describing is genius. I like to talk about good, fast, cheap, pick 2. And what you're describing is a choice to not make any effort to be the cheapest, but instead focus on being the best.
Being the best, of course. Otherwise, you have 60 excellent reviews, and the customer is seeing you, and they're deciding, hey, the other 60 people could not be lying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the clients who care about delivering excellent quality more than they care about paying the lowest possible price.
Yeah, exactly.
Smart is smart. Honestly, I had a similar experience yesterday. I mentioned the Egyptian market. I was trying to buy some saffron because it's the most expensive spice in the world, but here in Istanbul, it's one of the cheapest places to obtain it. And I went to several vendors, and the one that I bought from was not the cheapest. And he employed your strategy. I probably got ripped off, but he was showing me the difference between the bad quality saffron and the good quality saffron. And he's like, yeah, I know I'm not the cheapest, but I'm the best and I can prove it. I listened to what he had to say because, of course, price matters, but price is not the only thing that matters. So, where did your story go next? I assume you don't still work on freelancer.com. What happened after that?
I stopped at 2016. I built my own startup. I started to serve in Turkey, but I decided that this is not my type of work. I have to work for other countries.
Yeah.
Because in my country, they are just focusing on the time with the lowest budget, and they don't have vision.
So you already had a global mindset, and you
Yeah.
were having trouble finding companies in Turkey that also shared your global mindset?
And then the Turkey general manager of Crossover found me on LinkedIn. They asked me if I'm interested. I said myself, what can I lose? I mean, I will give a try for a couple of weeks. In the worst scenario, I will lose 3 weeks or 4 weeks. But on the bright side, I can have the opportunity to work with the top 1% engineer. And I tried, and I got succeeded. I passed all the exams and everything.
Yeah. Did you find them easier?
Well, they were challenging, to be honest. But I'm a challenging person.
Yeah.
So,
Well, then you're what they were looking for.
yeah, definitely.
Did it measure up to your expectations?
Definitely. The experience I got through crossover was amazing. I got surprised so much. Huge adjustment. I mean, what kind of metrics are those? These are so difficult. I learned a lot. It is how it's supposed to be. I believe this. This is the way.
How long were you working through crossover?
I worked about 5 years, more than 5 years, I guess.
That's a long time.
Yeah, that's a long time. Yeah, it makes you learn a lot.
So if I recap your story, you're saying you have worked remotely for over 10 years,
Yep.
you have experience working for local companies, you have experience freelancing, you have experience starting your own business.
Yep.
You got hired on Crossover back in 2016
Yeah.
when nobody had ever heard of it. Worked there for over 5 years. That doesn't get us all the way to 2023 though, so what's happened since then?
I currently work as a head of software engineering at Zebra Electronics, one of the futuristic companies in Turkey, building electrical vehicle charging units and softwares to manage those charging units.
Is it a fully remote company?
The software part is yes. I'm trying to apply everything what I've learned from Crossover.
What did you have to change in order to make their remote operations work?
What did I change? First of all, I applied agile methodologies. I pushed to working with tools like Jira, and also by telling this is our working standard. We are doing this. Our code quality is so important for us. Communication is key point for us. You have to ask questions between each other, and you have to get answers. That is why daily time frame should be crossed with other team members.
And you started there in 2021, so you started there in the pandemic. Is it a coincidence that they hired someone with 10 years of remote experience to take over that role?
It is not coincidence, actually. They looked someone like me.
I mean, you can't ask for more than that. And you've been doing that for 10 years now. How has your life changed in that time? Like that's pretty transformative.
Of course, I reached all my goals step by step. I was free to make investment. I was free to buy new stuff. I was free because I had the financial freedom.
Yeah. So you said it very casually. I achieved all my goals, and it's a pretty extraordinary statement. So I'm curious to know, what are your goals now?
I'm just a hard worker, and I'm just trying to make the world better from my perspective. I can say this. I want to make the world change. I'm working on a project. I have lots of projects, but this one is very important for me because it is very game changing. It's a very secret project. Anyways, I want to make a difference. I'm gonna release it within a couple months. After this time, if you have a nice mindset, you start thinking, how can I be valuable for the earth?
What do you think the answer is?
Well, the answer first, you have to start giving, and then you have to listen for the others, their dreams.
Yeah.
And if their dreams can be done by you, so the world will be a better place. You just need to start, just focus on your road and move like a bullet. I mean, don't stop.
Wise words. I'll tell you what, if it works out, let's sit here again, but on your private yacht. We'll do it all over again, and we'll celebrate that your top secret project actually was achieved, just like every single one of your other goals has been.
Maybe I'll own such a lot. I mean, this is a very nice yacht, but I can have a better one. And then maybe a helicopter after that, maybe a private jet, you know?
Perfect.
Definitely.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Tolgahan. I can hear the sound of the prayers coming from the mosques, which I think signals we've reached our time, but it has been an absolute pleasure sitting here on the Bosphorus River in Istanbul, getting to connect with someone who's really made it as a remote worker here in Turkey. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.